Welcome to the free-to-play account, and already we are entering a GP. The Spanish GP is what we've got this week, and we're going for Junior. So we're not going to obviously go to Champion, because we are way down there at the moment. Don't think we're going to go Challenger. We're not good enough for that. So we're going to go into Junior and hope for the very, very best. We're in Q2. We never did Q1. Just because of time. So let's see what we can do. Let's look at the car as well. But first we've got Barcelona, Spa, Singapore and Barcelona again to come. So it's going to be pretty difficult. This is the car that we're running at the moment. And it's not a bad setup at all very early on. Still a lot of parts to unlock and level up. At the minute, we've got Piastri and Sainz, but I've got a feeling with the free crates that we've just unlocked, we've got a bit of upgrading that we probably can do. And who we can pick, we can probably get maybe Yuki in here. I mean, just looking around, Kevin Magnussen as well, potentially. But De Vries has got a lot of levelling up, so let's do Nick De Vries, or as Carlos Sainz calls him, Debris, where? And we're going to get him up nice and levelled up here. So level 5 will come in for Carlos Sainz. And now, can we replace Oscar Piastri? I think K-Mag or Yuki is the potential here. And what we got on that one? I think definitely going to look at maybe Yuki. Stick him in for the first free-to-play GP of the season. And there we go. But he doesn't even get better than Piastri, if I'm honest. So, we're going to keep them two at it, and we're going to hope for the best. Are we ready for GP? Well, let's go. So here we go as we look for our first race in Spain, and we've got a match up already very quickly indeed. Potential real player to start off the Junior GP. And I'm keen to remind you at this stage, I probably haven't even done more than 15 races. I've hardly done any racing on this, so I haven't got the level up and the unlocks that a lot of people will have at this stage too. But where do we qualify? And look at that. Right out the back in June. And this is in Junior. This is Series 3 potential. And we are 19th and 21st. So I'm going to use self-control on both drivers. I don't know the strategy. I'm thinking a 3-3-2 and a 4-4. But I've got a feeling Nick De Vries is not going to be able to do 4 laps in Spain. But let's find out. Let's give it a whack. See what happens as we get racing. The free-to-play account is up and running in GP. And can Piastri get a good start? He's a bit to-in and fro-in at the minute. And now he gets a kick up the backside and gets himself into P15. And in Spain, we like to leave them running as long as possible for a few overtaking spots, and these two getting absolutely gridlocked at the moment. P15, P16 as Piastri makes another move through, and we settle down. It's going to be hard, I think, in Junior. It's not going to be a podium or a P1 off the back, that is certain, but we just want to get a few rewards. So down the straight we go, conserving when we can, building up the unit, and already I don't think De Vries is going to do 4 laps here at all. I am going to bring in Oscar Piastri for an early pit stop from P14. Can we pull the strategy of the century out? Here comes Piastri then. No one's pitting, of course, lap 2, but we're going to be pitting. Oh yeah, no way we're getting 4 laps with De Vries. So in comes Piastri. De Vries starts lap number 3. And we're going to have to do a 2-3-3 with Piastri and a 3-3-2, I think, with De Vries. And Piastri comes out in nice clear air. So we'll let him close the gap. And then we'll cut down. We'll see if we can get one car maybe. We can. So we cut down from P22. And De Vries is going to have to pit this time. He's got no chance of getting round again. So, on to mediums again. We do get a nice place back though. P15 as we come in. That is chaos round there at the minute. These two were neck and neck originally, but look at the undercut. Piastri goes through and jumps a lot of cars with the undercut. De Vries getting absolutely stuck in the pits. That doesn't help us at all. But we do manage to get a couple of places out the pits as well. So the undercut, really pushing for it right now as we try and get past Zhou Guanyu. And now we do. So Piastri's up to P12. A lot of pit stops still to happen. And De Vries up to P18 too. It's looking okay down the straight. Where does Piastri sit at the minute? P8 for Piastri. We'll take that all day long. And De Vries up to P15. He's got another lap to do though. So we're looking pretty good at the minute. But we are going to bring in Piastri this lap. And he's in P8 at the moment. De Vries has got another lap to go. As Piastri takes 2 looking at the bottom left corner. Into P6. And in he comes. So a good effort there. More mediums required. And De Vries is in a bit of a traffic jam. Still got a pit. And you can see Piastri not too far behind him. And that is chaos at the first corner again. But can we survive? It's looking okay at the minute. Can it get a lot better? I'm going to bring De Vries in for a pit stop. We can't get any further positions. So we need the AI to 2-stop here. If they do, Piastri will jump up a load of positions. It looks like there's a lot of people coming into the pits. Got a couple of breakdowns as well. And Piastri then, on lap 7, moves himself up to P10. De Vries with a better exit out of the pits this time on the softs. In P14. So we've made our way halfway through the pack. And we've got 1 lap to go after this one. Is there any more room in the inn for the points to come? De Vries is trying to get past K-Mag on the softs. And does so. So we're definitely going to move up here. As Piastri's into P6. Nick De Vries conserving down the straight. Gets himself up to P9. So into the top 10 with both drivers. And now both of them can push hard. And it is going to be a good first race because Piastri's into P4. Don't think he's going to get P or P5. It looked like P4. We're not going to get these two, I don't think. We're too far back. And we're not. So Piastri's going to finish off in P5. Nick De Vries going to finish off in P8 by the look of it too. And that's a very solid first race of the season. First GP. It is 37 points in Spain. So we move to race number 2, and it comes from Belgium and Spa. And I'm predicting, based on that first race, a very tough race if it's anything like last season, because Spa can be an absolute nightmare at times. But can we pull it off? We're going to use self-control again, and yet again we're at the back of the grid. And our tyre management looks awful. So what do we do here? We're going to have to do an undercut, I reckon. So self-control we're going to use because we've got a fair amount left. We're going to do a 1-3-2, I think, potentially here. And maybe a 2-2-2 is the play of action. But can we get a good start? Piastri with average and De Vries with a bit better than average. And here comes De Vries into the first corner. P14. But Piastri only P20, so we haven't really made up massive ground. And we're going to just conserve down the straight. De Vries all over the back, but they're queuing a bit out on the first lap. Can we make any moves in this race? It's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. and what strategies the AI will follow. Usually they will pit lap 3, hence we try and avoid lap 3 pit. De Vries makes a spot, P13. Piastri's in P19, will be pitting this time round as well. De Vries is right on the limit of tyres, and there is a few pit stops, and we get absolutely smashed. De Vries looks like he's been knocked out for 6. And what a bad corner that was for De Vries. Done by a bit of smashing around in the pits. Piastri comes out on the hards. And we're going to use this to hopefully get an undercut. De Vries though, P13, potential medium running now as well. But Piastri's out in P22. Can't seem to make up any moves. So we're going to cut down a little bit. De Vries right on the limit of tyres now. And he's just going to run out at the end of this stint. But a good 2 laps. And it's only right at the end. We're not going to lose too much here. And everybody looks like it's the new lap 3 is lap 2. Everybody coming in. You can see Piastri coming round the final corner. Will he make any moves? He was P20. And he's going to make a few. He's 16th now. With De Vries back in P19. And these two are on the same strategy now. That's one thing I'd need to think about. When I say same strategy, I mean they're both going to pit on lap 4. So we've just got to be careful with how we play this. But both cars are together. And we will be able to push De Vries further. So, not looking too bad. There's definitely more points to be won and lost in this race. We're about to start lap 4. We're over halfway. We've got a few pit stops now as well. So anyone doing 2-2 will be coming into the pits. And that sends Piastri up to P10. And De Vries up to P12. And we'll probably be coming for mediums for both drivers here. And look at that, De Vries now. Let's push hard and create the gap between the two. We've got the power unit to do. And Piastri is very slow on the hards. Hards are pretty much avoidable if you can help it. But places like Spa, you're definitely going to need it. And De Vries is not making enough ground as I thought he would. He's trying to get past K-Mag. And he's just not going to get it done. He does at the end. But we still get held up. So De Vries in the pits. And Piastri now coming in as well. So definitely a double stack. Just by about 1.5 seconds. And out we come. So De Vries comes out. P14. And a good move there. Look at that. Piastri overtaking as he comes out the pits nearly. So room to make moves. We've got to start coming through here. As we get held up by Tsunoda. What the hell was that? We get absolutely pulled back by the breakdown. But De Vries is up in 12th. Piastri P23. Make it 22. We're going to cut down because we're just finding it hard to overtake this car at the moment. But there's a few pit stops in as well. So we really need to be pushing to make this undercut twice work. De Vries now up to 9th. Trying to get 8th. Piastri's up to P19. And he's going to get further than that. P14, P13 for Piastri. As we do some cutting down. Build up a little bit. And De Vries trying to get past Gasly for another position. And he does. So we're in P8 and that's pretty much going to be it for De Vries. Piastri is looking at P12 and gets it, and that will probably be that for him as well. Well, we do have Stroll here though, we could make a move on. But De Vries is going to come home in P8. We will absolutely take that, especially in Spa. 17 points. Piastri with a late lunge on Stroll. Not quite. It's going to be home and hosed P12 for Piastri. It is 30 points in Spa. We'll take that all day long. So on to Singapore we go. We've scored pretty well so far, but Junior is going to be some pretty high points, so we might not even qualify if we keep this up. So that's how hard it is down the bottom in Junior sometimes. And yeah, again, we're at the back as we expect. P16, P20 for race number 3 with it all to do. So Piastri, we're probably going to do 2 laps, and Nick De Vries on the mediums to do 3. We're going to use self-control again. We've got plenty of them by watching adverts last year. So here we go. Let's see what we can do in Singapore. It's going to be tough. As long as we get through, that's all that matters. And then in the week, and considering now it's Friday, I haven't got much time to upgrade either, which is annoying. So can we get a good start? Piastri P14, and it's going to get a bit chaos at this first corner. Bit of bumper cars, but Piastri survives, and so does De Vries. No debris on the track. So Piastri looking for a move in P13, and he goes, try to go up the inside of K-Mag. K-Mag thinks better of it, and now we get past, absolutely flying on the medium boost. And again, so Piastri up to P11. Remember, Piastri doing 2 laps, Nick De Vries doing 3. That's what the doctor has ordered today. And can we make it stick? In the first time of free-to-play Junior. Hopefully, we can get a P1 in Junior at some point and move on to a P1 in Challenger at some point. And so be it. Keep working our way up, seeing how long it takes. Or we could try a cheeky go at Champions just to see if we can scrape it at this low flag level. So Piastri P11 coming into the pits this lap. Can we get past Sainz? Sainz is boosting hard, no power unit left. We're boosting at the minute, and we get past Carlos Sainz up to P10. We're going to have to do a 2-2-2 because I can't do a 2-4. I'll be too slow on the hards. So it's all about adapting now. It's hard to go from the main account to this account. Big tyre management difference. And in we come. So Piastri comes in. Nick De Vries will try and get past Piastri on the hard tyre. And that we do. Up to P10. Piastri is going to come flying out, and he's going to come out lovely as well. Into P18 at the minute. As Nick De Vries will come back to do the 3-3. Any more moves that we can make? De Vries is into the top 10, into 9th. Back for the mediums. But Piastri's not too far behind. So we're just going to keep on at it as De Vries will come in. And he is now in. So he's going to pit for service. And Piastri making a move on De Vries. Can't get it done. And De Vries will come out now as well. Gets ahead of the Alpine. And gets ahead of Piastri. But we swap them round. It's better to have the soft in front to be able to attack. We move forward. And we're about mid-pack at the minute. Plenty of room to go. Plenty of points to be taken still. De Vries is only going to get better, you'd hope. Piastri's going to have it all to do coming through the pack again. And there's a move on Bottas for Piastri. So he's relishing the challenge early on. And we've got 2 laps to go. This is where you make your money as Piastri comes into the pits. Nick De Vries up to P9. That's what we like. Piastri's got it all to do. P17. Talk about coming out with a bang. P15 now. And P14. He's on a flyer. So we're going to... How many points? Is there only going to be any last lap pitters? That would be perfect. That would be perfect. Not just yet. So we can start pushing these very soon. Maybe after the first sort of corner, potentially. We've got one in the pits. And we'll get De Vries up to P8. And now we'll start boosting with both drivers. We might as well cut down the straight because we don't lose any speed. And then we'll boost back up. Piastri looking at Norris. De Vries looking at the car ahead. I can't see who it is. It's Nico Hulkenberg in the Haas having a stormer. But De Vries puts him to the sword. And De Vries looking at Perez now as well. Can we get past into P6? Don't think it looks like we can. It's going to be a P7 finish for Nick De Vries. And it is going to be P7. Oscar Piastri coming around. P11, we'll take it. We'll have to take it, absolutely. It is 32 points in Singapore. So we move on to the final race. It's been pretty fun so far. We're always battling from the back, it seems, even on the main account. And we've already raced Spain once so far. So we should know that we can't do a 4-4 now. So this should be able to play out, hopefully, with a bit of an improvement as well. We're at the back, P15, P17 as normal. We're going to try something different, I reckon, here. We'll use a bit of ballast for a bit of cornering. And Nick De Vries will go on to the mediums. And we're going to try a bit of downforce, give him some tyre management potentially. We've got some okay boosts available to us. But let's try downforce. We might be able to do a 4-4 still with Nick De Vries. Let's try the extra tyre management boost and see if we can get the 4-4 done. It'll be very quick round here if we can get the 4-4, I can assure you of that. So fast and a good start. But we're a bit slow-mo at the minute as Piastri gets away. P12. And we're going to move already past a few positions. And he's a man on a mission. And already flying through, Oscar Piastri nearly up into the top 3. Let's keep him boosting. He is into the top 3. And 2. And 1. Wow. Oscar Piastri. Take a bow, son. He is in to P1 in the race from something like P15 on the first lap. So what a first lap by Oscar Piastri. He's that happy. You can see him bobbing up and down his car. Wow. What a move. So we can conserve and be cautious with him now. Build the unit. De Vries is going to be under a bit of pressure. But let's focus on our own strategy here. And we are going to have to come in early with Oscar Piastri. Because we can't manage the tyres. So mediums we'll go for. As De Vries gets himself back into P10 past Esteban Ocon. And into a nice top 10 position. Piastri coming out of the pits. He's ahead of his teammate. And out in P7. De Vries now P9. So it's all working out. We're very close on this 4 lap though. We're trying to do the 4-4. And it's very, very close as it stands. You can see down to 30%. So 5% to get to the pits next lap. It's going to be close. We might run out just at the end, but I think it's worth the risk. We're just going to have to conserve a bit more. So we're about 1% short on tyres. And we're going to go for hards because we definitely can't stretch these mediums as much as we would want. As Piastri trying to make a move on Max Verstappen. De Vries trying to make a move on Hamilton. We're just going to try and manage that as much as we can. And we've definitely got to get Piastri past here. And we do. So Piastri's into P2. De Vries P5. Just going to run out of tyres, I think. And it's very close. And if I'm honest, it's absolutely perfect because he's now coming into the pits. We've made that one stint work. We've got Piastri back in the lead. De Vries is tumbling down the order now. But gets out in some nice clear air in P12. We can use a bit of the boost to close that gap back up, as we'll have Piastri coming into the pits. De Vries is up to P11 now. And we're going to keep pushing. He's a man on a mission, our Nick De Vries. And he's up to P10. Piastri's in. What can we do in this race? What sort of points could we get here? Especially with the one stop of De Vries. And look at this. No more pits to go. And we are in P2 and P3. What a stunning strategy in this last race in Spain. And we've got a pit stop ahead of us. Can we take first junior GP and take a first 1-2 finish for our drivers? That would be epic. Especially with only racing a few, not even 20 races, I don't think we've even raced yet. Piastri, Dick De Vries, P1, P2 at the moment. And all we've got to do now is keep behind Charles Leclerc, who will come out the pits most likely on soft tyres. What an epic in the last. And I reckon we've got a great chance of P1 and P2 here. And a magic 47 points. At the minute, it looks pretty good. We're going to still conserve, just so we can push if we have to. It all looks like a bit slow motion at times. As Piastri comes down the straight. 1 lap to go for both drivers. For a monumental result in Spain. Come on. And we're quite far ahead, I think. I think we're in no danger right now. Look at that, P3. So the Ferraris only just got through. And they will start closing in. But we are all good on the boosts. And we can start to pull away. So, with that in hand, welcome to Free to Play, a very first P1 in a junior race for Oscar Piastri, and a P2 as well. So a 1-2 finish in our first GP of the season on the Free to Play account. Absolutely buzzing with that result. A brilliant learning as well. So first race in Spain, we obviously got something like 39 points, 38, and then we put all our learning in and we come out with 47. So that's why you race at a track, you learn, you implement, and you go and score some big points. Let's just have a look what we is, because we're against a matchup which was pretty out of favour for us, although our car looks pretty good in there. So we'll continue out. Let's have a look where that leaves us in junior. 12th at the moment, so you can see how difficult it is. 146 points. Hopefully we'll survive. And it was 37 points for the first race, but I couldn't do any more than that. I generally couldn't. I think 146 was right on the limit. We could probably do the same strategy, though, for the first race.